Good morning, people. How are you? Welcome. It's Makeda Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist. And so I hope you're all doing well today. I'm going to start off this video talking about why size matters, okay? So just as a general topic of why size matters, we all know that size matters when it comes to our clothes, when it comes to our shoes. If you wear a size 9 and you can't fit a size 7 shoe, right? So, of course, size always matters with everything. But when it comes to sex, so today we're going to talk about sex and the topic of size. I see a lot of Tantra practitioners. Hold on a minute. I see a lot of Tantra practitioners and just women in general or sex experts who like to say that size doesn't matter when it comes to sex. And you'll hear a lot of women say that as well. But that answer really is just the politically correct answer, because that's not true. Just like it matters when it comes to our clothes and everything else, it also matters when it comes to sex. So a few things that you may not have known. Women have reflexology points in our vaginal canal, and men, you guys have reflexology points on your penis. So, what that means is if, and reflexology points, in case you don't know what they are points that correspond to different meridians, right? So, a lot of people know about chakras. Chakras are vortexes of energy that run up and down our spine. Meridians are veins of energy, okay? Meridians are veins of energy, like highways of energy, right? And we have a meridian for each organ. So we have one for our heart, for our lungs, for our small intestines, and each meridian corresponds to different emotions, different time zones, and there's different things that can throw those meridians on or off. Emotional trauma can throw off our meridians. Meridians run a certain direction, usually from down to up. And so if something traumatic happens, or you come in contact with something that messes up your vibration, it can cause those meridians to run backwards. And when those meridians run backwards, no matter what counseling you go to, no matter what supplements you take, it still won't fix the issue, right? Because we are energetically wired. And so acupuncture is based off of micro points on the meridian, right? And so when you have the acupressure points, when you stimulate them, it helps to balance and strengthen our meridians. So we have acupressure points in our ears, we have them on our hands and our feet, but we also have them on our genitals. And the acupressure points, the reflexology points, that are on our genitals are the most powerful, right? So they're very, very powerful. So, and if you stimulate some acupressure points, some reflexology points, and not others, you can create an imbalance. So what I mean by that is if you have a woman's vaginal canal, right? It's a vaginal canal. And you have meridians, starting from the bottom all the way up to the top. Up at the top of the vaginal canal, you have the heart and the lung meridians, right? And also on the penis, at the tip of the penis, you have the heart and lung meridians. But there's meridians all up and down the penis, all up and down the vagina. And so if a penis is too short, like if a woman's vaginal canal, I should have like better models, but let's say, how can I turn this? This is her vaginal canal, and let's say his penis stops right here, right? So it doesn't go all the way. That means that these reflexology points get stimulated and the deeper ones don't. So some reflexology points get stimulated and others don't. But on the flip side, if his penis is too long for her vaginal canal, right? So let's say, well, I don't have good models here, but let's say he can only get it in this much, and then he has this much that he can't insert because it's hurting her because he's too long. Then he has certain reflexology points in his penis that does not get stimulated, and it can cause imbalances, energetic imbalances in his body. So when genitals don't fit, if a man's penis is too long and he can't insert his entire phallus, it can cause energetic imbalances in him. But of course, it's not good for him to force it and to cause her pain and rip open her uterus. You don't want to do that, right? That's not good. There are a lot of women who deal with painful sex to please a man, and it may, hurt her, but she just sucks it up. And I've heard women talk about that. That's not good, because that can cause damage to women, right? But if that woman may love that man, and she doesn't want to break up a relationship because of that, but it can cause energetic imbalances. But the more aroused the woman is, the more our vaginal canal lengthens. Each woman, we don't all have the same length of vaginal canal, but our vaginal canals will lengthen when we're aroused. That's the reason why the warm-up period is really important, especially if the man is well endowed. Now, the other thing about size is that, so it matters for that reason, right? The reflexology points and stuff like that. So it matters in that realm when it comes to reflexology points, but it also matters in the sense that I hear a lot of women say, like, a man doesn't have to be big. It's about the motion, and there's dudes who aren't that big and they can give a woman an orgasm. Yes, they can. I myself am very orgasmic, so I don't have a hard time having an orgasm. But I can say that as somebody who is very much tuned into her body, and I don't like vibrators and sex toys, like all the vibrators, because vibrators desensitize a woman. So just like a man jerking off too much will desensitize a man, and a woman using vibrators all the time will desensitize her. And then a human vibration, she's not sensitive to, and she needs something so much rougher and aggressive. But I'm very sensitive and tuned in, and I can definitely say that, and also I don't have loose muscles, because just like people can say size doesn't matter with phalluses, and we know that it does, but same thing with vaginas. Like, no man wants a woman who's super loose. I've heard men talk about not feeling her walls at all. You know what I'm saying? So women need to work on strengthening their vaginal muscles, getting them tight, not rigid, but tight and flexible, so they can accommodate but still be tight, and have elasticity. And men need to work on increasing length and thickness. Some may need to work on one more than the other, or whatever. But the thing is that when you have the length, okay, yes, you can stimulate all of her reflexology points. If the man is really long and it's hard, and he really has to put a lot of work into warming her up and getting her super aroused, maybe give her a couple orgasms so her vaginal canal can lengthen and go slow, right? But also, when a man is longer and thicker, you are stimulating, he can stimulate more points at once. So if a man is more like, you have average size phalluses, but you also have little ones. Like, sorry to the men that are out there, no offense, and not trying to hurt your feelings, but itty bitty dicks do exist. And with men like that, they usually, they're doing so much to make up for it, right? So even if he's the best dude on earth at going down a woman, that still doesn't make up for the fact that when you penetrate her, she's not really feeling a lot, right? And so then a lot of times men like that compensate by they'll just be banging into the woman. And I know there's times for myself where I just felt a man's body. I felt his body banging into me more than I felt his actual phallus, right? So we don't want that, and that can be annoying. And then as a woman, as a receiver, our bodies have to absorb all that shock. So if you're just banging into us and we're just feeling all this shock, and our body's taking that, it's easier for us to take that if we actually are feeling pleasure. So if we're having really good sex and the sex feels really good and you feel somebody banging into you, it's like your body can take that better than when you just feel someone banging into you and you don't feel his phallus, right? That doesn't feel as good. It's just like, I'm sure, I'm not a man, but I'm sure from a man's perspective, all the work that men do during sex, all the thrusting, that's a lot of work. But the feedback that you're getting, because you're feeling this woman's vagina wrapped around your phallus and you feel her reactions, you see her, I'm sure all of that gives you the extra energy to keep doing that. So it makes all that work that you're doing a little less. But if you were doing all that thrusting and stuff into the air, you know what I'm saying, then it would feel a lot more strenuous. It was kind of like that, right? So when a man can really fill a woman up, like a woman, we have, people know about G spots, but we have G spots, A spots. There's many sensitive spots in the vaginal canal. And the way that a woman can wake that up is through working with 90 eggs. 90 eggs help to activate all of the little sensitive spots inside of a woman's vaginal canal. So a woman starts working with that, she gets, turned on to all these different spots. Now, a man with average or small phallus can stimulate this spot and that spot and this spot and that spot. But the more that he can fill her up and the more that she can feel, the more spots he can stimulate at once, then it's even more amazing. And as a woman, I know for me, like when I'm having sex with a man, I feel like a receiver. I mean, yes, women also are givers, but it's because we're penetrated and you're opening yourself to receive. And it's a lot of a surrender from the female standpoint when it comes to that. And so I know for me, I like to feel that with a man. That's why I like men, who are stronger than me and stuff like that. But it's like that surrender where the woman has to relax into it, and then she's feeling all these different things being stimulated at once, as opposed to, and also when a man is bigger or you can feel him more, like if he does contractions, the same way if a woman's vaginal muscles are tightly wrapped around a man's penis and she starts contracting, men feel that. But we feel it too, women feel it too when men contract, right? So if that man is filling us up, stretching our muscles, let's say in the ideal world, the woman has tight elastic vaginal muscles, and so anything that's tight likes to be stretched. You don't want to have to squeeze more to try to feel it, which is what happens when you have sex with a small penis. You have to squeeze more so you can feel more, right? But when a phallus is stretching out our muscles, the woman then has to focus on relax. You can't focus on squeeze when you're trying to relax and open up for him to enter you. And then after, the muscles are opened up, then maybe the woman can think about squeezing. But the more a man fills a woman up, and she feels that stretch reflex, you know what I'm saying? The muscles being stretched. Just like anybody who works out a lot and they have tight muscles, they want to stretch it. If someone did a strenuous workout yesterday and the muscles are tight, they don't want to go tomorrow and be like, I'm going to go tighten them some more. A lot of times they're like, no, I got to stretch this out. My shit's tight. Or I know, like for me, when I'm really active and doing stuff and my muscles are really tight, I like squeezing. I like a good massage, but with some strong hands, like squeeze, like dig in. I'm not talking about some little lightweight patty shit. No, like squeeze my muscles. Like that's what makes my muscles calm down. It's like it needs that pressure back. So as a woman during sex, if that woman is doing her work and her muscles are tight and elastic, it feels better when you have something inside of you that stretches that out, that gives you that stretch, forces you to relax, forces you to surrender, forces you to feel what you're feeling. And I feel like there's a lot of women that have sexual trauma. Too many women. And again, working with 90 eggs can really help that. But I think that some of those women run from big dicks sometimes because the reflexology points, all the reflexology points are being stimulated at once. And a woman who is afraid of orgasm, afraid of sex, trying to close herself up to that, then you get with something big and you're just like, you're feeling so much that you've been trying to hold back and you don't want to let that out, that I think that some of those women can close up to that. You know what I'm saying? Because women do store sexual trauma in our wombs and our vaginal canals. So a big phallus can scare her if she's not ready for that, if she's not trying to open up, and or it can be very healing for her. And so men can be healing for women, women can be healing for men. But and a lot of people like to tell this myth. A lot of men like to tell this myth and believe it, and a lot of women like to co-sign because women like to tap dance or tiptoe on men's egos, right? But the truth is the truth. Now let's really be real. People say women cheat because they're missing something emotionally. That could be true. But there are men who also cheat because they're missing something emotionally. Men also cheat for those same reasons. There are men who are in marriages who they feel like their wife is not paying them any attention, and they may cheat because this girl will watch a football game with them and do their whatever, you know what I'm saying? But there are also women who cheat, just like there are men who cheat because they're not sexually pleased and or they want more. And so for every man to believe that however your dick is, that is just fine just like that, like you don't have, it's just perfect, you don't have anything else to do. No, like some men were blessed with, you know, big thick ones, but not everyone likes that. You know, there's women who want it to be smaller. There's always, you know, there's no like one definition of like the perfect size or whatever, but there is a such thing as being too small. And nobody wants to be average, right? Like who, I mean, maybe somebody does, but I mean, who really wants to be average? If you're with a woman who doesn't really like sex, because there are women out there who don't really like sex, they're afraid of sex, they're closed up to stuff, then maybe average is fine for them because they're just average and they just, you know, whatever. But any woman who really loves sex, like you want to really feel it, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like any woman who really likes sex will tell you that size does matter. And I feel like any man who has a big phallus knows that it matters. You know, I've had male friends who I've had these conversations with who, you know, they've gotten a lot of things and had a lot of great experiences in life that some men can't pay for because of the fact that they have a large phallus. And a lot of times those men are really nice and calm. They're like the nicest, most gentlemanly, most chill dudes. Dudes who are fucking annoying, who are always trying to annoy women, who are just, you know, cursing chicks out for no reason because she don't want to talk to you, mad at the world type dudes, they're always the ones that have little itty bitties, okay? And so, look, I'm just saying, women have work to do. There are women who think I'm fine, I'm tight, I don't need to do nothing. Listen, we can all always be better. So no matter how great you think you are as a woman, working with eggs will make you better, and there are things that you could do to be even better. And also to maintain what you have so you don't lose it. People take things for granted and then one day they don't have it anymore, you know what I'm saying? And then for the men, you also have work to do, you know? And different men have different things to work on, but having longer, stronger erections, thicker phalluses, you know, and having the length and the thickness and the hardness and the endurance to really please that woman and make her go crazy. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, size does matter, and I wish people would stop telling that lie that it doesn't, because I feel like the women that say that are just trying to be politically correct and they don't want to hurt any man's feelings. But the truth is the truth. Just like some women's vaginas are too loose. It just is, you know, it's just what it is. So just do the work, okay? And be thankful for what you have. Don't stress, like, you know, I have small breasts. Like, I'm not going to lose my mind because of that, you know what I'm saying? Some men like it, some men may not, but it hasn't hindered me, you know? But like, I always work on being the best person that I can be, and maintaining what I have and being thankful for what I have. And that's all I'm saying. But some men can be too big for some women for various reasons, and some men can be too small. But size does matter. And as a man, it should be a goal to fill her up so she can feel your pulsations and your vibrations. And I think I said enough. So hope you all have a good day. In a few minutes, I'm gonna do my video on the shoulder joints, my nerdiness. People don't like to listen to the nerdiness, but our shoulders are important. So stay tuned for that conversation if you'd like to know about it. Okay, so have a good day. Bye.